Hey, it's Chris. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Just want to get that out there first. Had to take a drink. My throat's been doing its own thing. Happy 4th of July. Today is my 5th shot, so it's my 4th week on T. And I'm only saying it's not a month because I'm waiting until the 6th to say it's a month. My throat. Anyway, today I was going to do an update, which is going to be very, very short, as well as do my shot, just to kind of show everybody how I do mine. I've seen a couple videos elsewhere on here where people do their shot, but I haven't seen my specific method shown. And I do have a specific way that I do it now after having a couple complications the past few weeks. Unfortunately, as that is. And I do have a story about my 3rd shot, that I don't know if I put in the video last week for my 3rd week update. So if I did, I do apologize, but I am going to go over that again because it is a serious thing that happened. And I just want everybody to be aware that it is a thing that can happen. I don't know why it happened specifically, but it did happen, and it was not fun. So I'm going to do my update, and then I'm going to go over that story, and then I'm going to do my shot. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, probably not very long. I'm not intending it to be super long, like most of my videos are, because I seem to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. So, updates for my 4th week on T. My dog is trying to climb over me to get to the window, and I'm not letting him, and he's not happy. You're not going. Sorry for the bad luck. Anyway, so nothing has really changed from last week except for my voice. If I kind of talk like this, kind of in a lower tone, my voice does go lower. It's not kind of like I'm talking softer, but my voice is lower. And then when I talk normal like this, my voice is back to the same, but I feel a lot of vibrations in my chest, which I'm not used to feeling. So I'm assuming that now that I'm nearing 1 month on T, basically I am 1 month on T, but technicalities. I've heard from people on Reddit about a month, month and a half is when your voice starts to change. But I have seen elsewhere where it can take 2 or 3. And there's people on T for like 6, 7, 8, 9 months that still haven't had the voice change. But I guess I'm on a relatively higher dose, so I'm not entirely sure. There's been some little hairs growing on the outside of my lip. Not very noticeable, but it is there. I would say that it's still blonde, but a couple of friends did point it out to me on Sunday, and it is Thursday now. So I don't know. I don't really see it, but they did. And I looked in a mirror and I was like, I kind of see it, but I kind of don't. But yeah, nothing at all except for my voice. I do have like one belly hair under my belly button. It's long and dark. I thought it was a dog hair, so I tried to pull it off, and my skin kind of went with it, so I just kind of left it alone. And I'm like, hey, it's my first belly hair. But yeah, that's about it for an update. So on to the story. Like I said, if I did say this last week, I do sincerely apologize. I have a horrible memory, and I don't remember if I did or not. So, but like I said earlier, it is a serious thing, and it did happen, and then it can happen. So last week, the week before last week, actually, because last week is when I figured out my method to keeping my skin bunched, which I'll talk about later. 2 weeks ago, it was on my right leg, which is the leg that I'm using today. I am kind of skeptical about it. I am very nervous because I don't want it to happen again. I passed out on my shot before last week, and it was not very enjoyable. It was not. If I could never ever do that ever again in the history of ever, that would be great. I don't know what caused me to pass out. I had been feeling nauseous earlier that day. I didn't eat anything. I hadn't eaten anything before any of my other shots either, and it didn't seem to affect it, but for some reason, I don't know if that's a cause. I did eat earlier before filming this, so I have food in my stomach, and it's kind of, because I was a little bit nauseous when I woke up, so I'm feeling a lot better now, than I was. So hopefully I can just do it and get it over with and be done with it. But I had been feeling nauseous. I had just taken a shower. I have heard that that could be something that caused it, because warm muscle and like room temperature, testosterone, whatever. And I was not sitting on a bed or a chair or a toilet lid. I was sitting on the edge of the bathtub, which we all know is significantly shorter than a chair or a bed or a couch or anywhere that you normally think of doing your shot at. Just because our toilet lid wasn't very sturdy, and I didn't really feel comfortable sitting there, but I wanted to do it in the bathroom, so I decided to do it on the bathtub. Probably not the brightest idea now that I think back, but and when everything went fine up until the injection, like my sanitation, getting the testosterone in the syringe, changing the needles out, everything was perfect, everything was great. And then I went to go inject. I kept losing my bunch, which is an issue that I've been having since the first shot at home by myself. It's just really warm in here, I'm sorry. Since my second shot, I've been having issues keeping my bunch. Last week I did actually figure something out, and I will be showing you guys that in case you guys have the same issue if you do your injection the same way that I do. If not, you should probably go by what your nurse or your doctor or endocrinologist. However they show you is probably the way that you should. Because I was looking for alternate ideas on how to do it, and I just didn't feel comfortable enough switching how I did my shot, because that's not how I was taught, and I feel like if I try anything else, I could mess something up. So, if you do your shot on the top of your leg, this is an alternate way to do it. I bunched my skin. Ignore Luca. He wants to look out the window, and I'm not letting him. So he's crying about it. Because he's a giant crybaby, like me, when it comes to needles. So anyways, everything was set up, and I was sitting on the edge of the bathtub. My foot was flat on the ground, feet were flat on the ground. I just don't know if it was because of the level of the bathtub and where my legs were, because I experienced something that I've never experienced before. Stop! You're not looking out the window. I'm not hitting him. I'm flashing my hand in front of his face. I don't hit my dog, because I don't want him to hate me. And I'm a good dad, for the most part. But he plays rough, so even like a little tap would be fine. Like, I tap his nose sometimes when I'm playing. Anyways, back to the story. So, I had my feet flat on the ground, I bunched my skin, and, I put the needle in. Halfway through, I felt it go into my muscle, which is a feeling I've never felt before, and honestly, I don't ever want to feel it ever again. It hurt. It wasn't unbearable, but it hurt. A little bit more than a lot. Or, like, a little bit more than a little bit. I'm not going to say it hurt a lot, but it was a significant amount of pain. So, I kept going, obviously, because I need my testosterone, obviously. So I kept going, and everything was fine. I didn't really feel anything after it hit the muscle. I felt it hit the muscle, and I'm thinking maybe now that it was because the way my leg was, maybe my muscle was stretched and not relaxed enough. I don't know. And as I mentioned, I was nauseous previous to my shot. When I woke up, I was nauseous. I chalked it up to just having my stomach issues coming back, because I do have stomach issues, with, like, acid reflux and stuff, except it's a little bit worse than acid reflux. But halfway through my injection, I had a massive hot flash, and I got really nauseous all at the same time. Like, as soon as my hot flash started, I started to feel nauseous that exact millisecond that my hot flash started. And I don't know if that's because of anything that I did. I don't know if it's just some weird thing that happened. But that was about halfway through my shot. But I kept going. I was like, I can, kind of just sit back and relax after I'm done with my shot, and the hot flash will go away, the nausea will go away, because it usually does, and I was planning on eating lunch afterwards anyways, so it wasn't a big deal for me. I keep losing my train of thought. So, I finished my injection, pulled the needle out, went to go grab for a piece of toilet paper, and we have a standalone toilet paper holder that just sits on the ground. It's not on the wall. And the next thing I know, I'm laying on the ground, My head is spinning like I drank way too much and I had nothing to drink or eat that day. But alcoholic drink. I felt really drunk to where my head was spinning and it was just really bad. And I was on the floor and the toilet paper holder was on the ground. I didn't have any toilet paper in my hand. So I don't know what happened between the moment when I reached for it and when I hit the ground. I just know that one minute I was on the tub, the next minute I'm on the ground. I've never passed out before, but I think that's what happened. I don't know how long I was out for. It could have been a few seconds. It could have been 5 minutes. Nobody was home, so I don't really know. But that is something that happened. I did make some ramen and then went to go lay down in bed to kind of calm down a little bit after that. And it took me a while to be able to eat because I was still really nauseous and everything, and it took me a while to get my bearings back. So that's a thing that happened, and I don't want that to happen again. So I have my supplies out, and I'll end up moving the computer to up there. Ignore this couch right here that I'm sitting on. My partner does airsoft and he threw his stuff all over the place. So it's kind of messy on this couch, but I'll be on a cleanish area where there's not much stuff going on. So I'm just grabbing my testosterone and my needles right now because everybody knows that you have to use alcohol swabs. That's a given. So this is my bottle of testosterone. I was given a large bottle because the clinic is 2.5 to 3 hours away, and this is supposed to last a while, so it's what I've been using. It's not even half empty yet, and it's supposed to be able to last me 3 months. This is an 18 gauge needle. It's the pink one that I use for drawing the testosterone into the syringe. This is a whole new concept for me because it's a 3 ml syringe. It's a 23 gauge needle, so that's not new, but the syringe is. So luckily I figured out where 0.4 is on this thing because I was really concerned about it. I wasn't sure how all of that worked. Here's the syringe. I do 0.4, so I'll be going to right there, and that's how much my dose is. I'm just swapping out the needles real quick. So I've never had a syringe with a needle already on it. It's a whole new world for me. I'm gonna get my alcohol swabs. Nice little baggie of alcohol swabs from my stepmom. So, want to wipe the top of the bottle with an alcohol swab to make sure that it's clean. Even though I keep it in a jar, I still like to clean it just to make sure that it's completely, clean and sterile. Pull off the cap, and you want to, I'm going to lower this a little bit because I don't know. So, you put it on a flat surface and just stick it in. And I still have the syringe on the 0.4 because I was told to just put that much air into the vial and then make sure that the needle is completely under the liquid and just pull out my dose. Oh my god, that's like not much at all. I'm used to a lot more. So I pulled out a lot more than I'm supposed to have. So I'm just going to push it back. And I have a lot of air bubbles in here too, which I'm not happy about. So I'm just going to .4. I think. Nope, that's half. That's 0.4. Okay. Pull it out and put that away for next week. Put the cap back on and put it in my sharps container. I'm just going to put it on the counter right now. And then put my 25 gauge, 23 gauge needle. And you want to make sure that, oh, that wasn't one. You just want to push it up enough to where a drop comes out, so whenever you inject, you know that you're not injecting air or whatever. I do still have some bubbles in here, but I'm not gonna cry about it because they're tiny. And it's a different type of syringe that I'm not used to. So, on to my shot. After everything is set up and you have the testosterone in the needle, you take your alcohol swab, and the way I was taught, I'm going to try to move back a little bit. The way I was taught, you put a hand here right above your knee, put this one right here, and then you put one right here. And in this general area where the middle hand was, is where you want to do your injection. And then you just kind of pick a spot. Usually I pick right in the center. That's just what I was told to do. So that's how I do it. And then you want to take, I'm going to use this paper towel as an example. Actually, I'll just use this because I'm going to be cleaning again anyways. And then you take it and you rub outwards to prevent any germs or whatever from going back in. And you want to let it dry so it doesn't burn when it goes in, because that doesn't sound lovely at all. And then, because I was taught to pinch like this, but my bunch always comes undone. So last week I tried and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I use paper towel. So I did, and it worked really, really well, actually, for me. You want to take your alcohol swab, and I'm going to do this again because I lost my place. Just give me a second. Right around here. you want to go outwards, like I said. You don't want any of those germs or bacterias or anything's getting it. So you let that dry. And I have freaking dog hairs everywhere. Problematic. Tend to psych myself out whenever I do this. So I'm gonna go over it just in case if I can't talk when I'm doing it. I take my 2 pieces of paper towel that I ripped and I hold my bunch with that. So here. And then you just go down like a dart and inject. And you have to go slow because the testosterone is thick. Pull it out straight. Cap it. Oh shit. That's never happened before either. I just had some of the medication come out of my leg. And I've seen where people massage it in. It did burn a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But that's how I do my shot. I am starting to feel a little bit nauseous, so I'm gonna turn this off and go to editing it. And if anybody has any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I'll help in the best way that I can. Again, hope this video was helpful to somebody. And I'll see y'all next week.